Welcome to Ask Sean, where I explore all sorts of questions about life, relationships, and being human. I'm Sean Slevin, a licensed professional counselor and a licensed marriage and family therapist. And if you have a question for me, you can send that to me anonymously at asksean.org. So I wanted to share about a phrase that was running through my mind a little bit ago, just like in the past few hours. And this phrase was, don't fear the fall. Don't fear the fall. And this came to me spontaneously as a way of I was trying to coach myself through something that I was feeling scared about. And it needs a lot of unpacking because you'd be easy to misunderstand kind of what I mean by this concise phrase. But I love the conciseness of it, and I guess alliteration, is that maybe the term? Because I don't actually mean don't have fear, because we are going to have fear, and I was having some fear. Really what I mean is don't let fear keep us from living our life. Don't let fear dominate, right? We're going to have fear. Fear is a human thing. And I'm going to give a little bit of context as to what I was doing and why I was afraid, which will make even more sense of kind of the language in this phrase. And by fall here, really what that means symbolically is don't live in fear of or be dominated by fear of past pain, of a past hurt. And that's what this was alluding to for me. It was I was feeling some apprehension about a recurrence of something that was painful, in this case physically painful. So where I am at the moment is I'm just finishing up being at the Charlottesville skate park, which, side note, if you're somebody who likes skate parks, Charlottesville skate park is just freaking amazing. Of the few skate parks, the handful of skate parks that I've gotten to visit, it is by far my favorite. They have a really great layout, a lot of variety. So anyway, that's a plug for the Charlottesville skate park. And I am a beginner, maybe intermediate beginner at something called free skating, which I'll just show you just briefly so you can get a further sense of kind of the craziness of what I'm doing. So free skates are these things. So it's two of these things. They're like I like to say it's as if a skateboard and inline skates had twins. So anyway, they're really cool. I like them a lot. They are made by JMK Ride. There's a little plug for them. I don't currently have an affiliate link for them or anything, but they're a good company. They're a solid product. So I'm not going to go further into product stuff or whatever. That's not the point. So I'm not like super skilled at these things. I've been practicing enough that I can go up and down a shallow ramp, and which is great and it's fun and whatnot. So, but I'm here today after having not been in, I don't know, 6 months, maybe longer. I can't remember when I was here last. Maybe it's been 9 months. I don't know. And I typically will have a fall when I'm here. That's not unusual. And that's just, the nature of being a skate park. And I wear lots of gear and whatnot, because I'm trying to protect my body. And if you've been following me for a while, you've maybe heard me talk about how I practice falling. Like I work with a personal trainer. I go to clinics for practicing equestrian falls because I ride horses and do jumping and whatnot. But it's still really, really fucking jarring to fall at the skate park. Because typically if I'm going to fall, it's because I'm going down a ramp and I'm going faster than my skill level can manage. And then I wipe out, and it just happens so fast. And of course it's on hard surfaces, and even with all my gear, it rattles me. My body is like, what the hell just happened? And so as I was getting here and I was getting warmed up and whatnot, and I had all my gear on, I was just feeling this like, okay, am I going to do the ramps that I usually do? Like I've done them a fair amount in the past. Like I should be able to do them again. But there was this bit of apprehension. And so this phrase was coming to me of don't fear the fall, don't fear the fall. And what I think is interesting about it is it's not like saying that I'm not going to fall, right? Like that wasn't what I was coaching myself of, like, oh, I know for certain I won't fall. It was like, well, I may fall. But I've fallen before and I've gotten through it. And like it's unlikely to kill me. I'm unlikely to get paralyzed, right? Like I'm not going crazy fast. I mean, typically I'm going like, yeah, pretty poking along. But you pick up speed going down a ramp, right? So this phrase was really about, like, I'm having the memory, right? The body memory of, like, yeah, that's scary. It's scary. It's jarring to, go down this ramp, lose my balance and, wipe out and, be slamming into the concrete. And yet I'm here to skate. I'm here to have some fun. I'm here to practice, here to stretch myself a bit, here to have a little adventuring. And if I let that fear of the fall dominate, then it's like, well, why did I fucking come? Like, now, to be fair, it would be fine if I chose to, as long as I wasn't living in fear. It would be fine if I chose to not do the ramps. Like that's a viable option, right? Like, choose your challenge, right? Like if this was a day where I wanted to work on something else or I just didn't feel up for it, that's okay. But what's not okay is when my gut is like, I think I'm up for it. Even if I wipe out, I think I'm up for it and I want to engage in the challenge. But to not follow that would be like fearing the fall, right? Like that would be giving into letting the fear of past pain dominate. And then I'm not living my life. My world is shrinking a bit, right? And so this can be tricky to tease out. It takes practice to really discern, like, am I refraining from something kind of from a place of wisdom and honoring my limits of this moment, right? Like when I chose to stop, when I chose to call it a day, that was me trying to be in sync with, like, yeah, I think that's enough for today. Like, I think I've done enough and I'm starting to get tired. And like, it's not about, at that point, it's not about being afraid of falling as much as I don't want to set myself up for injury, right? Like I'm gonna be, if this I get more, as I skate longer, my body's getting more fatigued, and so then something dangerous could happen, maybe. So yeah, but it's just this subtlety of, like, am I being wise or am I living in fear, letting fear dominate, right? Like, and so I think this is just all of life is this, right? Like, there's a bazillion things where we're presented with choices of, am I going to live into this moment, even though I have potentially been or have been hurt before in this area, or I can imagine ways of being hurt, even if I haven't been hurt yet in this area, or am I gonna shrink back from that, or am I gonna lean into that and be like, no, I'm here for it, and if I get hurt, then, well, I'm gonna use my internal resources to, like, help comfort myself. I've got people in my life I can go to. Whether that's friends, family, mentors, counselor, whatever. So yeah, because it's like, life isn't about living a pain-free life, right? Like, if you try to live a pain-free life, you're going to end up living in, like, a tiny little speck of, of life. Like, it's you can't have an expansive life, a full life, and not fall sometimes, right? Like, you can't learn to ride a bike and never fall. If you never fell while riding a bike, then how much learning was happening? Like, maybe you had some natural proclivity, right? Like, maybe things were so stringently controlled, and you were so protected that you never experienced, like, oh, this is a thing that could happen. A person could fall, but eventually you would fall, like, once, because you would eventually push the limits and then discover, oh, going that speed or going around the corner in that way or taking that jump or whatever things, like, is too much for me at this moment, and you'd wipe out. So eventually everybody falls if we're living an expansive life. And it is scary. And so I'm not literally meaning don't have fear about that. When I say don't fear the fall, I just mean, don't let that fear dominate. Don't let that fear keep you from living your life. Like, we are here to live. We are here to expand. We're here to adventure and to create and to love and to try things and to fail and to try things and succeed, and, like, all of these things about being human. And so, like, yeah, we've got to live our lives. We've got to live our lives. So I think, yeah, I am sweating because I don't have the air conditioning on because don't want the background noise. And I think, I think I've said enough. So, yeah, well, until next time, peace be with you.